everybody stays safe and stays healthy. Well, I'm going to deliver a talk on something very interesting which we laparoscopic surgeons need to understand and apply when we are operating in the theaters. I hope all of you are aware about the laparoscopic surgery. Can you let me know how should I share? I gone to the. Okay, fine. It's coming, I suppose.
It's coming. It comes now. It's coming. You're sharing your.
Let's wait. So I'll tell you very interesting thing that's very important, which probably many surgeons do not.
Sorry for the interruption. Dr. Chalkoo, sorry for the interruption. You should open your PPT.
Yeah, I am opening my PPT.
Yeah.
I hope I have. I don't know whether it is coming or not.
We are able to see your screen, but we are unable to see your screen. You can open it.
Just wait. I think I'm going to open my PPT. Is it okay?
It's fine.
Is it okay?
Yeah, it's okay, sir. Perfect, sir. It's coming fine.
Okay, fine. Okay. So can I make a slideshow of this?
Yes, you can, sir.
Okay, if I is it okay, Kuldeep?
Yeah, perfect, sir. It's coming fine.
Fine.
It is.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect. We are able to see.
Well, these are before I would start my talk, I would just introduce you to our contributions, our humble contributions to this minimal access surgery, which is the current fashion in these are some of our humble works we have done. You can see we have published our work in the International Journal of Surgery. Elsewhere, you have the Chalkoo concepts in mini-lap hysterectomy. You have our experience, the Chalkoo modification for the 3-port modified technique for, laparoscopic cholecystectomy. You have Chalkoo's point, which I will be referring today in my lecture on ergonomics in laparoscopic surgery. And then you have Chalkoo's retractor, that's a patent on our name. And these are few of the humble things. And on top of it, we have just also had a few books published. We have published 2 of our books, which is my expression. You can see down there in the presentation. It's a book which is available on Amazon.com. And we have also published a book which is beyond laparoscopy. That's something, a Kashmiri poetry. Probably it may not interest you in this juncture. Okay, this is what I would like to say at the outset. The first step, applying the scientific method, consists in being curious about the world. And the surgeon is not a laborer. He has to be a craftsman. And if you work with the hands, you are just a laborer. And if you work with hands and the mind, then you are probably a craftsman. And that's what you need to be. Okay. Why? This is how the times have taken us on. That is probably the man you can see here, the wandering for food and shelter. This is how the surgery started. You can look at this, the man, the patient being kept on bed, and how the gadgets were in surgery. You can see these gadgets, and then this was the pre-anesthetic time, and then we went to a proper incision. You can see here, and then we went to a buttonhole incision all over here, and this is the current scenario in surgery. You see down there, you can see now the surgeon has a console, is operating distantly from the patient, and a robot does the job. And what does the surgeon do?
Dr. Mushtaq, your voice is not audible. Hello. Dr. Mushtaq, your voice is not audible.
Hello?
Your voice,
Hello?
Hello?
your voice is not
Hello?
audible.
Your voice is not.
Hello?
Hello, Dr. Chalkoo, your voice is not audible. Your voice is not audible.
So, madam, tell me what should I do?
It's okay.
What
It's
should
okay
I
now.
do?
It's coming. It's okay now.
Coming. It's okay now.
Is it okay? Is it okay? Is it okay?
Yes, 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 yes. Carry on.
Yes.
I
Carry
can
on.
hear you. Yes, I can hear you. Yeah.
Should I start?
Network quality.
Yes.
It does happen. Right. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Dr. Mushtaq, can I just hold on? And all of us just switch off the mics so that we can hear him clearly. I'm switching off my mic. You will also do that.
Hello.
No. No.
Hello. Good morning, sir.
Can the organizers help me out?
Yeah, you can continue now, so you are audible.
Is it okay? Can I continue?
It's okay. Yeah.
I would request everybody to put your mics mute so that I may be audible to all of you.
Yeah.
Okay. I was talking about what is ergonomics. Let's understand it. Ergonomics is when you enter into your car. I mean, it is the interaction between you and your machine you're driving. Say, for example, you enter your car, and the first thing you will see how you will sit on the chair. What should be your distance between you and the dashboard? Are the brakes working? Is the mirror okay? Can you see the back mirror? I mean, that is what ergonomics is all about. And that's true with reference to us as surgeons when we enter, see the position of the table, the position of the patient, height of the table, the monitor, if it is rightly placed, is it at a distance which is comfortable for the surgeon, and the instruments. That's, I mean, in totality is what ergonomics is all about. And I will also tell you with reference to a point that we have, modified and given it by our name, a Chalkoo's point in laparoscopy, in cholecystectomy, where exactly we should make the laparoscopy, the epigastric port. I will be talking with reference to that also. So, laparoscopic cholecystectomy is an important and very common surgery being done globally, as you all understand. And we have had different techniques. We have the 4-pore technique, the 3-pore technique, the 2-pore technique, sills, nodes, then we have robotics, and who knows what will come next. Now, let us see what ergonomics is when we are doing an open surgery versus laparoscopic surgery. How does it differ? You all understand in open surgeon is very fast because he's working with his own eyes. His hand-eye coordination doesn't need to be there as because in laparoscopic surgery you have a different status. Your eyes are not your own. You are fed through an assistant by a laparoscope. So the hand-eye coordination has to be swift in laparoscopy. It is not as much. It's there because you are working with eyes and the hand. So here in open surgery, dissection proceeds. You cannot cut and you can cut and then cauterize. But in laparoscopy, hemostasis proceeds. You have to first cauterize and then cut. So ergonomics in open surgery, I would say that it is optional, but in laparoscopy, it is vital. And that's how the laparoscopic surgery differs from the open surgery. Well, I would say that to be an efficient surgeon, what does it take from you? You have to concentrate on the team. Is your team really in a mood to do the surgery? How good they are trained? you have to concentrate on the equipments, which may play you may be a very great surgeon, you may be skilled, but your gadgets are bad. Your gadgets are, they are not up to the mark. It may put you to a problem. They create some angry movements in the surgery. And then the environment in the theater. Environment is very important because what is the mood of the surgeon? Has he not fought in the early morning with his wife and then is doing a surgery on that? What is his background mindset? Is he not? Is he in a frame of mind? And then the assistants, are they really cooperative? Are they working with you in that mood? In totality, these things take to a better outcome of the surgery. Well, I would say the ergonomics, what ergonomics is, I will just tell you what it does mean. You all understand the principles are straight line principle. I'll just talk about these few things. What is a straight line principle? What is triangulation in laparoscopy? What is manipulation angle? What is, elevation angle? What is low lying table? Elevation angle. What is low lying table? What is gaze down view? So I will just talk about them one by one. Let us see what is a straight line principle. I hope I am audible to you all. Am I?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Straight line principle is a straight line. You can see a straight line between the surgeon, the pathology, and the monitor. They should stay in the straight line. If you join the three, it should make a straight line. Because your efficiency will increase when the monitor is in front of you, the patient is in the center, you are working on a target organ, as in this case I am showing you the pathology is the appendix here, you can see, and the surgeon has to stay on the other side. This is what is the straight line principle. Now, what is the visual axis and motor axis? Now look at this picture. All of you please understand this. This is that your monitor is in the center. You have a simulator, that is, you are operating, take it for a patient, your gadgets are in your hands, and here you stand in front of the monitor. So all the three things, monitor, the patient, and the surgeon stay in the same line. And your visual axis, you are seeing in the straight line, falls in the motor axis. So when these things are in line, your efficiency increases, your output increases, you are apt to perform surgery without errors. Then we have a point called as a coaxial alignment. Now what is coaxial alignment? Coaxial alignment is, now see, a lateral alignment and a coaxial alignment. In a coaxial alignment, you see the display of the view. You have a patient over here, you have the surgeon, these are the working ports of the surgeon, and the monitor is here. This is a lateral. So in lateral view, what will happen? Your view, your head will rotate. So you will get exhausted. Your performance of your motor activity is not in line with your visual activity. So you are apt to commit problems, you are apt to commit mistakes by this. So you need to understand that when you are operating, you have to maintain a coaxial alignment. Now I'm taking to this picture. I hope this is it clear to all? Can you see this picture?
Yes, sir, it is clear, sir.
Is this picture? Okay, fine. Now this is a very important concept. I would like to tell you that this is very interesting and very important to understand, because most of us are doing now laparoscopic surgery. This is called a baseball diamond concept and triangulation. Now all of you understand a baseball, though it is not placed in India, but this is those of you who have understood and watched this game, the ports have to be based in this pattern. You can see, if you take this picture on the left side, you see the monitor where it should be. This is the right hand, this is the left hand, L and R, this is the camera. So God has given us, that way we are made. You see, our eyes are in the center and our two hands are on either side, and so that it's exactly, this should be the position, and the camera has to be in the center and the working ports have to be on either side, and the monitor has to be in the front, and the target organ, say for example in this we are doing cholecystectomy, has to be like this. I mean, this is the way the ports should be placed, and one has to respect this concept. Is very important for ergonomics. Now, here are certain angles I would like to impress on that. What is a manipulation angle? All of you, please understand that when we sit for, just taking a dinner on those who are fond of taking by, the forks and knife. You see, we just always put them in a way that we make an angle. Automatically, we are not aware about it. This is ergonomically because we are fed to find the comfort zone of taking the food. Look at this. These two instruments, that is these two gadgets, this plate, they make an angle. Can you see this angle? You see this angle? This between the fork and this makes an angle. This angle is called a manipulation angle. Exactly like in laparoscopic surgery, when you put two instruments together, they make an angle. And that is called the manipulation angle. This manipulation angle should be 60 to 90 degree. And if you take half of this angle, if you divide this manipulation angle, it will make another angle that is called the azimuth angle. For a better performance of this surgery, you need to understand that your manipulation angle has to be 60 to 90 degree and your azimuth angle should be 30 to 35 degree. There is another angle called as the elevation angle. Now, what is an elevation angle? See, it is very important when we are operating. We have to understand that the surgeon makes an angle between the instrument that he passes through the port or the trocar and the surface of the body. An angle is created here. You can see this angle. This angle is the elevation angle. And this elevation angle should be around 60 degrees. If your table is too high, you will jitter down, your performance will decrease, you will get fatigued, you will find the easy procedure very difficult. So this elevation angle has to be respected. These are different angles that, if respected, will make your surgery pleasurable, you will enjoy the show, you will enjoy doing the surgery. And you may not commit problems and mistakes. Now, friends, I would like to tell you that is it possible to have these ideal angles every time? This is fundamentally not possible always, but ideal angles need to be maintained and respected. So I would say that manipulation angle has to be 60 degree, which you know now. Azimuth angle should be 30 degree and elevation angle should be 60 degree. Now, there's a very interesting thing. That is the fulcrum effect of hand instrument. You see, when we create a port, you see the instrument length, we have different lengths. The 20 centimeter length of an instrument, that's for pediatric patients, 28 centimeter, 36 centimeter, 45 centimeter. These are different lengths of the instrument. So when we make a port, as you all understand, 1/3 of the instrument should be inside, 1/3 should be in the port or the trocar, and 1/3 should be outside. The best fulcrum for laparoscopic surgery. All of you know the levers in surgery, in physics, we have all read. There are 3 types of levers. In type 1, laparoscopy works on type 1. If you respect this principle of fulcrum being in the middle, you will really enjoy. You will not find difficulty in performing the job. So the laparoscopy works on type 1 lever. So what happens when most of the instrument goes in, you will find there will be pause pointing. You will not be in a position to, do the procedure. You will, so you have in a lever, you have outside is the force you are applying, the inside is the load, that is the organ you are handling, say you are doing a hysterectomy. So you have to respect this principle of 1:1. 1/3 of the instrument should be out, 1/3 should be in the port, and 1/3 should stay, out of the, outside the body. Now, ideal port is a dream, the search continues, but this is what I would take you to. So now the target organ, you can see, if the ports, how should the port be made? The port should be made like a semilunar arc. It should be facing the target, and the target should not be less than 10 to 15 centimeters, because that is the focal length, the best resolution of the laparoscope we are using. And these ports should, if you join them together, they should make an arc, but a semilunar arc facing the target organ. I would just take you to a point that what was the genesis of creating our code? This was not just for the heck of being in the news that you have a Chalkoo's point. It was just because when we started, we have been working with laparoscopy for more than 15 years now. So what was the important was that to understand that we divide the abdomen into 9 quadrants, and this quadrant is where we make the epigastric port. When they say epigastric port, they say to make it in epigastrium. When we look at what epigastrium means a region. It is like it's like a country. You exactly need to tell which state. In the state, you exactly need to say which part of which region. In region, you need to say which mohalla. In mohalla, you need to say which house number. So it was not exactly very clear where exactly should the epigastric port be made. So when we went to the literature, we found that they say that epigastrium is a very big region. So where should it be made? The literature says it should be made in the subxiphoid area. And when we say what is subxiphoid area, it's a very huge area. Exactly where should it be made? Then literature also mentions it to be made a line from xiphisternum umbilicus 2/3 to 1/3. You can see here. Now, what was our management? What was the specific for the Chalkoo's point? Because it is very important to understand that this port, epigastric port, is a very important port for the surgeon. If it is wrongly placed, the simple procedure becomes difficult even in expert hands. That was the reason why we felt the need of giving them the exact, telling them like, I live in India, I live in J&K state, I live in Srinagar, I live in Hyderpura, I live in Gulbarg colony, I live in lane number 1, my house number is 147. This is the idea of giving them the precise address of where exactly should this port be made. So what we did, we made a pattern how to do. A mid-sternal line is this, mid-clavicular line. Then what we do is that we put our index finger of left hand on the tip of 9th costal cartilage, and the thumb we put on this intersection of this line. And where this line, intersects this line, you can see this line, this exactly should be the address of Chalkoo's house. I mean, I hope you understand what I'm talking. I'm just giving the address because the postgraduates, the beginners, the young recruits, they need to know exactly where should this port be made. If you tell them by literature, make it in the subxiphoid, it's very difficult to know where exactly is subxiphoid. So this made the things clear to them that, okay, Chalkoo's point is exactly. And the maneuver you do is in this, you can see after making the port here, made a port, and then we put our index finger in the 9th costal cartilage and the thumb in line with this epigastric port. I'll show you the video and then that will make things a little clear. Observations where it is easy location, it adds safety, it adds speed to the procedure, it causes less portal bleeds, it causes less thrust for the port to get in. It usually falls to the right of the falciparum ligament, adding technical ease to the surgeon. It is easy to be learned, it is easy to be taught and practiced by the young surgeon. And I should also tell you that we published our results as we stand as editorial board of more than 18 journals. I have been doing this job for so long now. So we published our results in scientific research with our modification of Chalkoo's point in laparoscopic polycystectomy. And we were very, we are surprised to see that people are really interested in knowing where exactly this port should be made. And you could see this another article after our research was published. This people were also knowing what is appropriate position of epigastric port, where exactly should it be placed. That means in the sense that to tell them the exact address where this port should be made. I will just, before thanking you, the organizers, can I just share a small video with you? To organizers alumni, I'll just share a small video. Can I do that?
Yes, sir. Yes, Dr. Chalkoo, you can do it.
Yeah. So, madam, how can I can minimize it and start the video?
You can play directly on your desktop.
Okay, I will just play a video to show you how to make this port. This is important for postgraduates, young surgeons. I'm trying to open it.
I think there is a problem, Dr. Chalkoo. It's not supporting.
It's not supporting.
Yeah, I can. You can try to open. Once it will be open, then fine.
Okay, is my presentation is there?
Yes.
The presentation is fine, but it's just that the videos are not running properly, sir. That is the problem.
Okay, that is the problem, right? Right, just I'm trying a little more. Just give me.
Please do that, sir.
I mean, it's not. I'm sorry, I cannot share the video.
Yeah, it's not
I
supporting.
I would say that let us keep on conquering. I'm thankful to everybody for a patient listening, for all the people that have joined this conference, and I am honored, honestly, to deliver this talk and participate in this e-conferencing. I'm thankful to everybody. Thank you
Thank you,
very much.
Dr. Thank you